Again. So I'm back, and a bit of a shock. I got around the corner of the marina, and just so there's my boat, and I've mentioned the nice neighbours there. I was like, where the hell have the neighbours gone? So what seems to happen over the weekend is they've been shunted up, so they're not quite neighbours anymore, but still near neighbours. I guess they're just wanting the space for this. Annoyingly, that means because the Kylie's been in it again, they've moved the bloody steps again, which I've got to set up. It takes a while to sort that all out. Meanwhile, I stopped in at Market Harbour for food and more usual tool station screw fix thing. But I've tried to avoid the beer situation again. So this time I won't be hopefully not gasping for a beer and not having one. Morning. Well, I arrived last night in a Yes, I was saying, I arrived last night and got back, and I stopped in Market Harbour on the way. And then in the evening I thought I'll just go and see, I'll do a test piece on the PVA ceiling. And I'd bought the PVA and wood preserver last weekend at Screwfix, my mother's gift voucher. And could I find this damn stuff? Could I? Because and there's only so many places where a 5 litre tin of glue and 2 other tins of wood preserver can be. So I've searched, I've searched everywhere, I've searched the container, I cannot find it. The only thing I can think of is that I didn't pick it up. There was so much stuff that it was a couple of trips to the car from the counter into the Screwfix, and I must have left it there. So I just hope, I haven't got high feelings, but I just hope that they will able to remember and I'll get some back. But anyway, either way, I've got to go back straight. First task then, as soon as I come back from Market Harbour, is go to Market Harbour. They had it. Happy outcome. Thank goodness for that. Because that stuff costs a lot of money now, so I would have been a bit narked if I had to rebuy it again. Hello again, and welcome to Narrowboat Midlife Sauna. Really great having this weather, but not so great for working in the boat. Anyway, I'm finally putting starting to put the floor actually down, which is a really nice feeling after all this work. I mean, it took me the whole day to put the PVA on the back and the sides. By the time I'd moved everything around and gone past and things, I ended up doing 2 coats. Whether that is especially 2 coats on the side, whether that is helpful or not, I have no idea, because I am really quite sort of winging it at the moment. You pick up things here and there, and lots of stuff is contradictory, and I'm talking of winging it, and so now as I'm putting the floor down, now to where I'm having a real sort of say crisis of conscience. That's a bit too much, but I'm really not sure what I'm doing. So basically, I'm wondering if I've done the right thing with insulation. Traditionally, and when I say traditionally, I mean recently. Traditionally, of course, Narrowboat floors weren't insulated, but you see quite a few people now putting down, the thin-insulate slabs sort of here in between the bearers, like there. And I don't really want to do that because I'm not using hugely thick bearers, because I don't want to have the the ceiling height, which isn't that tall. I can easily touch the ceiling already, even without the floor in. So I didn't really want to do that. So I've used relatively thin bearers, which means there isn't a huge gap between the ballast and the strengthening ribs and the bearers. So if I put insulation in here, it would be, I think it would all seal it up, and the best way in the world. It will get damp at some point in the bilge, and you want it to be able the air to circulate a little bit and dry it out. So on the other hand, as I'm walking on this, I want it to be freezing cold because this is below the water, especially in winter. So on another YouTuber, I saw that somebody had used this this foil insulation, which is basically overly expensive. This is literally bubble wrap, but with foil mylar on the outside rather than just clean plastic. And I'm going to put that. The plan is to stick that under there, and it won't be that good because actually the whole way this works, it's to do with radiation, and it's stopping radiation because shiny surfaces emit less sort of radiation heat, and so you actually should have a 5 centimetre gap between this and the other surface. Now there's a reasonable gap here between the ballast because I'm going to stick it onto the back of the board, so not going to, but better than nothing. The only thing that's making me hesitate now is I've gone from great pains to use 25mm board for these floors, so nice and solid. A lot of people use 18mm board now with battenings, and that's absolutely fine. But I thought, well, 25mm is what the drawings from the boat builder, they've got good reputation, so that's what they use. So I thought I'll follow that, and I said I've paid the price in both metaphorically and literally to do so. So I don't want to do it, but of course you put the bubble wrap under. The floor is then a bit bouncy because the floor is resting on bubble wrap. However, Christian did say once it's screwed. I'm not going to screw it down yet to the floor because it will have to come up for various reasons, and I don't really want to do it and undo it. So Christian did say try a test piece, so I might do that. So what I'm doing is getting the floor, and then what I thought I'd use for convenience is this stuff, this spray adhesive, which I haven't used since God knows. The last time I used anything like this is way back in decades ago in work, but then it was it's really quite good because you probably can't see it on the camera, but when you spray it, it's like Spider-Man. It comes out actually in a like silly string. There it goes everywhere, and then before I get too luckily it's not, well, the way I'm using it's not quite like contact adhesive, so it does stick immediately, which is good, but on the other hand it's also, you can reposition it because so as we do that, and the other advantage is it does not the side, but a bit, it does prevent, see that's probably should be a little bit up. I use the wood to cut it, and then it should be and it's a little bit on the side, so it should be. Well, and then hope also that is that even if it doesn't do much insulation, it's yet another moisture barrier. Because the other thing, and this is, I in no way think I know what I'm doing, and so that made me, I was like, oh god, but then it made no sense to me whatsoever, because condensation happens when the warmer air hits a colder surface, and if you're insulating the floor with extra insulation, it's not going to be the cold, it's going to be warmer, but it's always going to be warmer than the bilge, so it shouldn't condense on the floor anyway. It should be sort of the opposite way around. It should be condensing on the side where the cold water is. So, but then again, I also know that moisture and damp and things never behave how you expect, as if you'll know if you've ever had damp in your house and it just works in very mysterious ways. Anyway, I will try this. I'm going to try this to screw it down and see if it's sort of less squeaky, and if so, I'll carry on like this, and that would be the solution. And regardless, I will carry on laying the floor. It'd be nice to have a flat surface. I mean, it's going to take me. It's red hot today, so it's kind of. I'm a bit slower than I wanted to be. Another absolutely scorching day, which would be better to be outside rather than inside. I'm literally dripping with sweat, but the forecast is like this for a while, so I'm just taking it a bit slowly. Which means I am progressing, but not as fast as hoped. But at least there is some progress. Finished! Well, it's the longest day of the year today, and that's probably also one of my longest days. It was good having the actual light. It didn't feel like you was working so late. Anyway, I've got the floor done, and I'm shocked that I did, especially seeing as I had a bit of a detour this morning. The neighbours just across there are mentioned that they're going to swap out their brand new plastic water tank for a stainless steel one, and I said, well, if you're getting rid of it, I'd buy it off you at a good price. Anyway, but their boat's quite a little bit bigger than mine, so I had to go and check the measurements, and I made up building a sort of wooden frame because but wood doesn't flex so easily, so it's easy, you can actually see, and it would go in, but it would stick out into sort of the cabin a little bit, which is not a terrible thing. And it would be nice to have a lot of water storage. Anyway, but they're not sure now that they might keep it, so it's probably irrelevant anyway. And I'll go for the smaller storage. Anyway, that was a bit of a detour, and then got on with the flooring. And yeah, for once it went as planned. And I guess although even very recently I didn't think I was going to get it done today. Technically, I haven't done completely because I haven't. There's about 8 of the panels I haven't sealed. I've decided I'm not going to varnish them. There's not really point, but I will do is seal them with a coat of the PVA. It dries very quickly, and B, it doesn't have any smell, because one of the things about the varnish was I was like, well, I've got to sleep in there, and it really gonna stink. And also in this heat, it'd be a real nightmare to work with epoxy varnish. Your brushes will be dry before you even sort of got halfway through. Anyway, so that's that. And the boards aren't screwed down because, as I said, I didn't, so they're a bit bouncy and things, but still it's wonderful to have a floor. It feels although it's the first step forward, it feels a major step forward, and it's also so much nicer to be able to walk up and down and actually on a relatively flat surface. So tomorrow I think is going to be, I'll do the sealing of the boards, and I'll probably have a relatively relaxed day. I'll do the boards, and I'll sort out some of the boxes which I've got, some of the tools have gone to the food box and vice versa and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I think I've deserved this, and cheers everybody. Lovely and quiet here. So now the flooring's done, I don't need a board to put my mattress on, so I've upgraded my kitchen facilities. So the bed has now been turned to kitchen table, and let me tell you, it is so much better to be having this rather than having to crouch on my knees like I was cooking in a African village.